Farloom has fallen, a once vibrant nation of bugs, filled with commerce, arts, crafts, industry, and cute little bugs has been vanquished. Fallen to the death and the miasma of the thread sickness that has spread its tendrils through the land above it and beneath it, corrupting everything it touches. A kingdom standing as an empty husk, crumbling where a once proud nation stood. The Red Maiden, with her needle, will make her way through the echoes of the now silent nation of bugs and traverse through the remains of its former glory. Along the way, she'll meet many devoted and humble bugs on a holy yet dangerous pilgrimage, making their way up to the Citadel, blinded by faith, but their resolve strengthened by their beliefs. One of these pilgrims will stand out because of their steadfast resolution and stubborn kindness, eventually becoming a caretaker to his fellow travelers and mesmerizing us with his simple yet charming song. And that pilgrim is Sherma, an unassuming pilgrim with courage and tenderness that outsizes the largest of silk webs. At the start of the Crimson Sword Woman's climb to the Citadel, she will travel through Bone Bottom, a simple, humble, undefended, yet cozy way station for pilgrims in the early stages of their travels. The small encampment, Bone Bottom, will offer respite to Hornet and others on their way up to the Citadel. Not far from Bone Bottom, Hornet will encounter the noble Sherma with his cymbal-shaped hat and gently ringing bell. He invites you to sing along with his lucky chime until the gate opens, firmly believing that his musical melody will cause this gate to open. Not convinced in the power of song, Hornet makes her way to the other side to open the gate after the second combat trial in the game, where you are nudged towards using the down jump attack that replaces the pogo attack in Silksong until you get some of the other crest. After this, Hornet backtracks to open the metal gate, much to the pilgrim's joyous surprise. The two then continue on their separate ways through the lower levels of the vanquished kingdom of Farloom. Hornet will run into Sherma again after their initial encounter at the early gate in the morrow. But first, Hornet will have to do some adventuring. She will have to first travel to Farfields to meet with a seamstress, collect the flexible spines, and then obtain the drifter's cloak. With her new umbrella dress, Hornet will have to fight the fourth chorus in a rough but fun boss fight that showcases the beautiful and vivid animations in Silksong. With the drifter's cloak, Hornet will be able to access Pilgrim's Rest, where Sherma can be found lending his beautiful voice and silkiest of songs to another discouraged pilgrim, a fellow pilgrim that has become weary and needs his spirit lifted. After a brief conversation, Hornet continues on her journey, and so does Sherma, each on their own path. After defeating the Widow and freeing Bellheart from her spell, Hornet will next meet the musical pilgrim on top of the blasted steps, having traversed the windy and treacherous path that leads to the entrance of the old Citadel. Well, one of the two. Sherma will be found resting at a bench before one of Hornet's most demanding challenges yet, the Last Judge, along with one of the worst runbacks in the game, though not as bad as the Biowater. Hornet expresses that she has been worried for the little pilgrim, but he responds that no harm will come upon him during his holy ascent as long as he keeps his gaze upwards. His determination never wavering, he remains kind and optimistic as he catches his breath during a brief break in the shadow of the imposing Citadel, firm in his belief that his holy pilgrimage is under divine protection. After many tries and the aforementioned annoying runback, Hornet will be able to put an end to the judge's fiery reign and open the path into the Citadel, once again allowing both of them to continue on their pilgrimage and enter the monumental former halls of power. Though the adventure is treacherous, full of terror, and dangerous, there are moments of joy and levity. The next time the little spider runs into Sherma is during a well-deserved moment of relaxation. The Citadel might have been abandoned to the elements long ago, but some parts of its complex machinery remain functional. Hornet will next encounter Sherma when he has found his way into the relaxing and warm, regenerative waters of a hot spring, as he is taking a moment to get away from the dangers of the pilgrimage and the grim darkness of the abandoned regal complex they find themselves in. Always cheerful, always pleasant, Hornet will be able to take a moment and unwind in the relaxing, warm waters of the sauna. But like all things, this moment cannot last forever, and Hornet presses on, always mindful of her true purpose in these withered halls. In one of the highest points of the Citadel, Hornet will find another location that will become a safe point for the pilgrims. Like Bone Bottom and Bellheart, this location will provide lodging and a place to rest to the tired pilgrims. Hornet will find a majestic and ornate bell held in place with silk. Clearing the silk away with her needle, Hornet will ring the bell that will then serve as a beacon to the other pilgrims, much to the chagrin of the caretaker, a cantankerous old bug with a secret he's hiding. Following the ringing of the bell, pilgrims will then make their way to the top of the resplendent citadel to find a place where they can lay down their burdens. Hornet will find Sherma here once again, catching his breath. She senses some hesitation in him, and Sherma will confess that he feels the grand hall's ache with silence, and that he sees suffering in the shadows whenever he peers too deeply. Clearly attuned with the chaos of the downfall of the Citadel, he questions why such things are allowed in their paradise. Have his brothers and sisters not earned their holy reward, having traveled so far and weathered so much just to get here? He expresses great concern about the other pilgrims. So many of them are hurt and exhausted, his good nature driving him to worry about them. Hornet suggests that maybe he can help by dressing their wounds, but alas, they do not have the needed supplies. The next time we see Sherma is the first time we see his faith waver, and Sherma showing that most primal of emotions, fear. In his endless generosity, Sherma has left the safety and tranquility of Songclave, heading deeper into the darkened corners of the citadels, into White Ward. White Ward once functioned as a medical center for the Citadel and the front line when the haunting or the thread sickness started to spread and bring down the Citadel and all those that called it home. We see the results of a desperate medical struggle to try to keep bugs healthy and sane, but the physical evidence of the area shows us the futility of these brave attempts. Strollers, wheelchairs, medical beds in disarray, sometimes crafted into makeshift barriers, and also a few unsavory inhabitants to tell the story. It is amidst these medical nightmares that we again run into the plucky pilgrim, for the first time visibly showing fear or any doubt in his convictions. He will be timidly hiding from the hospital's nightmares and visually nervous until the needle-wielding child shows up to save him. Speaking with him, Hornet will hear the fear in his gentle voice. After speaking to him, Hornet and Sherma are attacked by a few horrors waiting in the shadows, but after a struggle, our prickly protagonist is able to save them. After the rescue, the pilgrim will return to Songclave, where he will dedicate himself to patching the wounds and injuries of the other pilgrims, true to his kind nature. Spoiler warnings for the endgame of Silksong and Act 3. At the end of Act 2, as Hornet is desperately trying to save what remains of the realm of Farloom with the help of the cantankerous caretaker, she may ensnare Grandmother Silk in a trap, unleashing the void onto the land in an attempt to free it from the silk. During her escape from the crumbling cradle after the calamity, Hornet will eventually collapse due to the exhaustion of her ordeal. When she comes to, she'll find herself back in Songclave. Some pilgrims have found her unconscious and brought her to one of the last remaining safe spaces in Farloom. When she comes to, she'll see a familiar and caring face. It's Sherma. Sherma tells Hornet of the Great Breaking, which is what he's calling the unleashing of the void. He has taken the mantle from the caretaker caretaker and is doing what he can to provide others aid and shelter after the dark tendrils wrecked the land of Farloom. And here he will remain with his little melody, doing what he can to help others. A quick note, notice how Sherma's head is still shaped like a cymbal. It means he put his robe on top of his hat. He must really like his hat. Not hating, just pointing that out. You know, something about Sherma's willingness to help others always puts a smile on my face. And I do love his little song. I can't do it. Sorry I did that to you. Anyway, end of video. Thanks for watching. Shout out to the 2 members of my channel. More than your financial contribution, your faith in me does help me carry forth. I appreciate all of y'all for watching. Take care, be well, and later.